What is up and welcome back, and today we have a nice review for everybody. It's going to be the Red Fitness Lat Pulldown and Low Row. Now this equipment can attach to your PR-5000 or PR-4000 rack. And if you are thinking of picking this one up, I'm going to give you the exact measurements and show you so you can see if this equipment is going to fit in your space. Not just that, but I'm going to tell you some details that I do love a whole lot, and actually one detail that I wasn't aware of until I actually bought the equipment, but there's a solution for it. So with that said, let's dive right in. And like you can see, we do have a low ceiling, so I am real happy that Red Fitness makes a rack that's 80 inches tall. You can get the PR-5000 also at 93, but in our case it is 80 inches tall. And when you do add the lat pull down, it is going to make the height 83.3 inches. So do expect to have that clearance for your ceiling, and I will give you an up close demonstration so you can see the add-on height. Now I'm going to give you a close-up of the top of the rack. You can see right there the pulley system of the lat pull down, and if I do get a measuring tape, you can see it is adding 3.3 inches to the height of your rack. So there you have the exact height for your ceiling. It has to be at least over 83.3 inches. Now in our case, we ended up going with the plate loaded lat pull down and low row because it is going to save us some money, and also for convenience, because the plates that you use for loading up the weight, we can also use it for the bench or other types of exercises. So it does make it really convenient and you save some money. Now also one thing that I wanted to know before I bought this, the actual measurements. So from the back of your rack to around this point right here, it is going to be 27 inches. But when you do load up your weights, I'm going to do that now, and then you can see how much space you're going to have in the back of your rack. Now with this view, you can see with the actual plates loaded on, I did add a 25, but it's going to be the same diameter for the 35 and the 45, that it is going to make the distance from the end of the actual plate all the way to your rack around 34.5 inches. So that's going to be 34.5 inches. So that means you're actually going to need a little bit more. I'm going to say at least 1.5 inches to be very comfortable putting on the weights and taking them off, because you're going to need some room for your hand right here. I'll give you a little demonstration for my hand. You can see right there. So nobody has, I believe, a hand or fingers that are 2 inches wide. So at least 1 inch, there can be a tight squeeze, or 1.5 inches or 2. You're going to be very comfortable putting on the weights and taking them off. So with that said, the actual distance you're going to need for the clearance of your wall to the rack is going to be 36 inches. So that's going to allow you to feel your hand nice and comfortable. And I also looked online for the selectorized version, and that one you're going to need 29.5 inches. So now you have that information for the clearance of the wall. Now I do want to give a close-up of the low row so everybody can see what that looks like up close and personal. And you probably notice it does look a little bit different than the Red Fitness picture on the web page. The reason for it is because I did add this attachment right here for the pulley system. And the reason why I did that is because once we set all this up and started working out, after some time I started telling myself, how come the low row feels a little bit different? I'm not enjoying it as much as when I used to go to the gym. And I go to a couple of different gyms that have a low row, and I love doing that exercise. And for some reason I couldn't figure it out until I started doing some research, and I noticed that the pulley for the PR-5000 and the PR-4000 for the low row is actually a lot lower. This right here that I have set up is going to be more lower, around right here. So when you're actually doing the exercise, you're not hitting that area as good as you would like to. And with this attachment that I found on Etsy, I was able to move up the pulley system a couple inches, where now when I'm doing the low row, it feels so good. So I'm going to say, if you're thinking of picking this one up, just notice where you actually work out, where the pulley system is at. And then when you look at the pictures of Ref Fitness, you're going to notice it's more lower. So if you are trying to get that real good stretch, the real good workout, it's going to have to be a little bit higher. And this attachment, this add-on, just does wonders. Really does improve the low row a whole lot. So I did want to point that out. Very nice. And again, once you add this on, you're just going to make the chain that's in the back a little bit longer. And that's how you make everything fit real good. And I'll give you a close-up of the chain so you can see that. See the chain? Previously it was more shorter, but we had to make it a little bit longer to accommodate the inches that we lost when we moved the pulley system up. But something real easy to do. And there you go. And also wanted to give you a close-up of the foot plate. This is what it's going to look like, but you can also adjust it. Let me demonstrate that. You pull the pin out. Has different holes along the side. Pull that spring pin. You can see just fits like so, very easy. Has different settings, and then you can just tighten it if you like to with the left knob. And we have it all the way like that to save some space along this area. And like I said, really love how the foot plate looks like. Just look at that nice texture, nice grip on it, and the Ref Fitness logo looks very nice as well. Before moving on, I did want to mention that you can actually purchase a low row that moves it up even higher, so you can have a high row around this distance, and that could be beneficial in case you are benching and working on your back at the same time. And why do I say that? Because in this type of setup, you are going to have to move the bench back each time you're working on the low row. Then if you want to do bench, you have to move the bench back. So that right there can be extra work, can be kind of tedious depending on what your goals are, what you're trying to do for the day. Now I'm going to show you a demonstration. Each time you're going to work out, you're going to have to remove the bench out the way so you can use the low row, but not necessarily for the lat pull down. But in my case, I kept it like this because we are trying to do the kickbacks with the ankle attachment, right? Trying to work on the legs as well. So we rather keep it somewhat low just for that variability. So that's going to be it for today. Hopefully you got some good information with this video. The whole goal was to give information so you can decide if it's going to be worth your while to pick this equipment up. Hopefully we're able to do that. Now I am going to give you some prices. For us, it did work out very well to get the plate loaded version. Compared to the selectorized, the plate loaded version with the RBS is going to be around $590 USD, close to 600 bucks. And then without the RBS, without the stabilizing bar, it's going to be $470. That's a big difference compared to the selectorized. The selectorized can run you all the way up to $1,450 with the RBS. That's a big price difference, right? 600 to around 1,500, big price difference. And then without the RBS, around 1,350. So with all that extra money, you can buy a whole bunch of extra plates, you can buy attachments, other equipment that you need. So for us, it was a lot better just to go with the plate loaded version. You can see we're real happy with our choice. Very functional. You can use this to work on your lats, work on your back, not just that. Other attachments, you can hook up the ropes, work on your triceps. We do use this one sometimes for biceps as well. You can use this attachment for your biceps. And lately we have been attaching you can see right here, the belt squat can be for the dips or for belt squats. We do attach it, and then we hook up the chain to the low row, and then another way to work out your legs. So you can see a lot of functionality in this piece of equipment. So that's going to be it for this video. I did want to mention I'm not sponsored by Ref Fitness in any way, so I wanted to share this information with everybody because I know a lot of people are in the market just like I was, and it's nice to know those little details before you actually buy something somewhat expensive. So that's gonna be it for today. Please sub and like, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace and much love.